Good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you are watching this video, and welcome to a dying theme park, Six Flags America. Had to get out here someday before it closes in November, so fun fact, this is actually only our second Six Flags park behind Six Flags Great Adventure, which is kind of shocking because they are literally all over the country, and we just so happen to never go to another Six Flags other than this one, and it just so happens to be closing this year, so wonderful. I have heard rough things about this park, and it is kind of no question why it is closing. Starting with the entry experience, where they were holding at security, even though there was a big line going out almost into the street. So that was just an interesting start to the day. But either way, it should be very interesting. We do have a lot of credits to get, so without further ado, let's get right into the park. We got Bugs greeting us at the entrance. Very nice touch. Alright, time is 11 o'clock. We are now into the park, no issues. All Park Passport continues to deliver. When we walked in here, we saw a very bottom-of-the-barrel character in Speedy Gonzales, so they're scrounging the bag for costume characters here at Six Flags America. But the reason why we're here is to get those credits, so credit hunt starts now. Now here's something that everybody talks about, and I am no different. All the clock towers on the tower are wrong, except for the digital one, which is very hilarious in my opinion. Just goes to show the state that this park is in right now. Entering Gotham City now. And as long as it is open, Superman Ride of Steel will be our first ride of the day. This one is also very special because this one is my 200th coaster. Was really hoping that Siren's Curse would have been it, but unfortunately missed out on that by 1 week, which is very, very unfortunate. But this is a very close second. I wouldn't mind this one being number 200. So let's hop a ride on Superman Ride of Steel, my 200th coaster. And there it is, 200 coasters right here on Superman Ride of Steel. Unfortunately, it's a very meh 200th coaster. I really liked the first drop. We did get a front and back row ride. The first ride was in the front, and it was nice to feel the speed in your face, but you really get that whip over the drop in the back. That's something that I really enjoyed about this, and is really a standout. Unfortunately, it just kind of meanders throughout the layout, and there's really nothing special about it except for that sort of airtime finale, although one of those hills is unfortunately trimmed, so you don't get the true extent of the airtime, but overall, okay ride for 200th coaster. So next ride of the day of this very poorly planned out vlog is Joker's Jinx. If you are familiar with the Flight of Fear clones at the King's Dominion and Kings Island parks, this is basically an outdoor version of it, which is kind of odd when you're used to the all indoor building of the Flight of Fear clones. So should be interesting to see Should be interesting to see how this coaster rides. Very good back row ride here on Joker's Jinx. I do believe this is a back row ride simply because there is more whip on all of those elements, including the, I'm not really in the Cobra roll because that's the moderately paced one, but once you start doing your descent after the mid-course, which is not trimmed by the way, which is a huge difference from the Flight of Fear clones. But yeah, once you start making your descent, that's when the speed really picks up, and that it gets really whippy and really enjoyable as well. Really like the back row here on Joker's Jinx. Next credit is going to be Firebird. Fun fact, this is actually the very first B&M coaster ever created, but of course it was originally a stand-up coaster similar to Green Lantern at Six Flags Great Adventure, but it got converted to a floorless coaster because, yeah, let's be honest, nobody likes to stand up, so it got converted to floorless trains. Now it's supposedly smoother, although I have heard this is one of the roughest B&Ms, so I guess we'll take a ride. Yep, I do believe that is the roughest B&M. The first ride we did was in the front row, and that was just unbearable. I could not tolerate that. Didn't think we would do it again, but then since it was a literal station wait, we decided to brave it and go back in line. So we got another ride in the back row, but this time towards the middle, because I believe the middle seats are a little bit smoother as opposed to the outside seats, and it did get a little bit smoother, but it's just not that great. It's just a boring layout. It doesn't really do all that much. The only thing that's intense is obviously the vertical loop and the corkscrew, but shocker, the two inversions are the highlight of the ride. But you know, it is designed for a stand-up coaster. I do get it, but all right for the first B&M. I do see this being scrapped though when this inevitably closes though. Next up on the credit hunt is Ragin Cajun. It's basically a spinning wild mouse that was relocated from Six Flags Great America. Unfortunately, it does have quite a bit of a line, so might not get on it immediately. It's also weird, it does not have a station for some reason, so the most shade we're gonna get is inside this queue line, so let's wait this out. It is a credit after all. Ragin Cajun. Where do I start with this? Well, first off, first line was about maybe 30 minutes. Unfortunately, then did not get any spin on the first ride, which is majorly disappointing because this ride is all about that spin. So we made a group effort to decide to get another ride on it. It was about a 15-minute wait. Line died down a bit, and then we got all the spinning in the world. So this ride can either be really, really out of control or the worst ride on the planet. You decide. It's just kind of sad seeing all these empty midways. Granted, we are kind of in the center of the park where most of the rides are at the edge of the park. And that's another thing, most people are probably in a ride line because of the not so great operation. So just a little sad because of this park is closing. Alright, so despite being down for most of this morning, Roar is finally open. This is a pretty cool GCI, I would say. There is a almost clone, was at least, a near almost clone at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, but of course that got RMC'd into Joker, so it should be pretty cool to experience the original. Granted, I haven't been on Joker at Discovery Kingdom, but pretty cool nonetheless. And right here is my most anticipated part. It is basically just a retrack of all the track on Roar, so should be pretty smooth, but the rest of the layout should be okay at best. Can check Roar off the checklist. That was fine. It's a neat layout. It just doesn't really do a lot with it. A little slight bit of floater, a lot of laterals. I really like the laterals on that, but that's what GCI is known for doing. Unfortunately, it is the standard PTC trains rather than the Millennium Flyers that GCIs are known to have. So got the uncomfortableness of an old Woody, but with a kind of newer profiling. So kind of good layout, but it just doesn't do much. Well, that doesn't look very open right now. Good thing we did it earlier. It is such a shame that this new themed area has to go to waste. This was new for 2024, this whole area. They added a flat ride as Amperla Nebula in that space over there, and then re-themed their SLC to be Professor Screamore's Skywinder instead of the generic Mind Eraser, which really gave some flair to this side of the park, which usually nobody would be in. Of course, I would not know since this is our first and only visit to this park, but that does mean, unfortunately, it is almost time for the SLC, which somehow is my first ever SLC. I know, I've managed to avoid these for so many years now, but now it's finally caught up to me, now that I'm counting coasters. So hopefully this should we can survive Professor Screamore's Skywinder. I think I can say now that I have been blessed that I have avoided these all my life. That was an experience, to say the least. That was probably one of the roughest coasters I've ever been on. And apparently, other enthusiasts have been saying that it got improved last year, so apparently it was even worse than it was right now. So I don't want to know any worse SLCs than this one, because I'm sure these had the new gen Vekoma restraints, but the other ones that may not be so lucky have the old ones, such as the one at Canada's Wonderland. That might be terrible next year, but we shall see. But for now, do not recommend going on Professor Screamore Skywinder unless you can tolerate SLC pain. But other than that, not for me. Yeah, if you've ridden one, you've ridden all of them. So only ride this if it is very, very a new concept to you. It does have some good forces, especially going in the forwards direction, but either way, it only really looks cool and doesn't really ride good. Can confirm, cups work here at America. Alright, entering Looney Tunes Movie Town. There's only one reason to be here. The credit hunt ends at Great Chase here. It's basically a Little Devil clone at Great Adventure. Or not. So I guess we're ending today off at 2:06. Okay, so apparently you can just walk in. So I'm an operator. I can operate this ride. Just kidding. I'm a rule follower, so I won't do that. And good thing we got on it earlier. Much appreciative of that second ride. Okay, this is weird. The entrance to the Flyers is in between these two games. This is what we want to do because we always love a good flyer, but that is just extremely odd, I would say. Always love me a good flyer. If you come to amusement parks and the park of your choice has these, do not skip them. As long as you know what you're doing, this can be one of the best rides in the park. Of course, not the best ride, but one of the best flat rides in the park, I mean. Again, do not skip the flyers when you come to amusement parks. And while we are back here, might as well get a re-ride on Wild One. Alright, got the re-ride in a non-wheel seat this time, so a lot better than last time, that's for sure. Really emphasizing the kind of floatiness you get on most of the hills, and cannot forget those laterals on those weird janky transitions. So again, this is another 100-year-old coaster, so interesting how they've profiled this, but either way, it turns out to be a very fun and solid layout, I would say. Alrighty, Voodoo Drop here is a walk-on, so we are going to take advantage of that. Voodoo Drop is a fun time. We did this at this kind of model at Carowinds before it got removed last year, so we've had experience with these kind of drop towers. It is a really intense drop. I really do appreciate it. Not too tall, but do not judge a book by its cover. Yeah, with that kind of weight, I'm thinking Harley Quinn is going to be a skip. We have Wonder Woman at Great Adventure anyway. Two more rides here on Superman, a little towards the back row. Not exactly the back this time, but towards the back, I would say. Again, very, very wonky drop and just a very, very weird pacing issues. It's got some moments like that second airtime hill, but there's just too many dead spots in between to make this a solid, very solid coaster. Well, I do have to get Six Flags America credit. This Maryland flag with the crab logo looks really, really good. I do believe it represents the state of Maryland really well with the location of this park. So the day is just about winding down, but we have to end our day out somewhere, so why not end it out on one of the best rides in the park? Ended off our Six Flags America trip with two rides on Superman, one in the front and one in the back. I am very indecisive whether this is a front or back row ride. I mean, not like it matters since this is probably going to get scrapped anyway, with the trains being sent to the clone in Six Flags Darien Lake. But either way, if we ever go back out there, I'm still indecisive whether it's a front or back row ride. Really like the back because of the pull over the drop, but the front, there's a really good ejector moment on the second large camelback. But unfortunately, straight track is before that, so you gotta deal with the straight track before getting the true ejector airtime. But really just okay ride, filling out this very okay lineup. But that's about it for Six Flags America. We're gonna start making our way towards the exit. And with that, our first and only visit to Six Flags America has come to an end. Apologies for the very messy vlog style. Wasn't really paying attention in the first few hours for some reason. Of course, I will improve that for the next time. Of course, not really on top of my game right now, but again, I will improve that for next time. Park-wise, it was all right. Main gripe was with the operations. I mean, I expected slow operations, but I didn't expect it to be this bad, but it's whatever. All these employees are most likely going to have to find other jobs anyway, so they really don't have any point to try because they know that this park's demise is coming up soon, so they really don't have any incentive to try for operations. But coasters were fine. I do believe this is one of the weakest Six Flags parks that I've been, not that I've been to, because I've only been to Great Adventure and this one so far, and this one's closing, so just wonderful. Hopefully we can get to more Six Flags parks in the future. But with that being said, make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, leave a like if you enjoyed, and of course, subscribe for more theme park content. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.